With the Episcopal District, what's on your heart?
Bishop Few and Supervisor Few, in year 2000. The AME Church did something rather innovative. We elected the first female member of the bench of bishops, the first female to serve as bishop in the AME Church, more than 200-year-old denomination. And 4 years later, in 2004, we elected the first female to the bench of bishops from the 5th Episcopal District. And we can all remember that in 2021, we elected the second female from the 5th Episcopal District to the office of bishopry in the AME Church. There have been 5 women to be elected to the office of bishop in the AME Church, and 2 of them are from the 5th Episcopal District. The 5th Episcopal District family, when it gets together and follows the Episcopal leadership set before us, it does marvelous, majestic, and mighty things, because the miracle power of God then begins to flow through the activities into the mindsets of those who give themselves to service. And we've been able to do that as an Episcopal district. We did something rather innovative in Orlando in 2021, when we faced a matter that the fully AME Church is faced, the denominations across the whole breadth of the world is facing. And we are a more responsible and accountable people, especially to our upcoming generations in that whole matter. And as we face challenges, as we face those things that will move the mindset and the temperament of a people motivated by faith and hope and directed by the power of God, we can go a long way and to a great distance, and we can get mighty work done. And this Episcopal District, whenever it comes together and sets its heart on something and gives all of its support to it, whether it's for the budget, whether it's for bringing laws and bring innovation into the atmosphere and the ministry of the AME Church, it does tremendously well. Whenever we come together and put our full abiding support, Bishop, behind a candidate, we always do well. So I am so pleased today to welcome and to recognize one of my brothers, one of our brothers, stood in the trenches many occasions for many reasons and for many purposes, and stood tall with integrity, with commitment, with honor, and the kind of continued weathering of storms in a way that many others have not. And so it is my pleasure to recognize the pastor of historic Shorter AME Church in Denver, Colorado, who is married very beautifully, whom he will recognize his wife and partner, spouse in life, and who has meant a lot to what the 5th Episcopal District means. He comes from the family of one of those Episcopal servants, his mother, who has served and who was elected from this district to serve as a bishop in the AME Church, Bishop Carolyn Tyler Guidry. And so he comes with that aspiration. So I simply wanted to stand in farming and agriculture. Before you plant, there has to be a furrowing of the ground. There has to be a cultivation of the soil, and so it can have sunlight, so it can have the kind of stuff that it needs. And so I'm just happy to have been able to till that. But I'm gonna ask now the seed, the planter, and the one who really has no need for introduction, Reverend Dr. Timothy Tyler. Yeah.
To Bishop Few and to Supervisor Alexia Few, to the general officers, connectional officers, presiding elders, to my mother who is on the Zoom link right now and is watching us, Bishop Carolyn Tyler Guidry, to my wife, Dr. Nita, who stands by my side and is my perfect partner. to my son, Chinelo Carey Tyler, who has been vacationing in Los Angeles all week. To my colleagues, my Shorter family, and those who stand with me. My name is the Reverend Dr. Timothy Tyler, and I am a son of the 5th Episcopal District. I was raised here. I was ordained in this conference as a deacon by Bishop H. Hartford Brookins and as an elder by Bishop Henry Wendell Murph. You've seen me in the best of times, and you see me in the worst of times. I'm a child of the parsonage. I grew up with a father who was a loyal layperson and a mother who is now a retired bishop. I am cognizant of the fact that I have benefited from the privileges and blessings of being a part of a liberating and reconciling church. But having realized that, I also know that I could never repay the African Methodist Episcopal Church, nor God for what it has done for me. And so it has been my mission in life not to pay it back, but to pay it forward. I attended 3 AME institutions: Paul Quinn College, Morris Brown College, Turner Seminary at the ITC. This higher education helps me to pay it forward. I've been blessed to pastor 5 congregations in the AME Church: Wilkes Chapel AME Church in Atlanta, Georgia; Christ Our Redeemer AME Church in Kansas City; Johnson Chapel AME Church in Santa Ana; and Wayman AME Church in St. Louis, Missouri; and now the wonderful Shorter Community AME Church in Denver, Colorado. Each church that I was assigned to, it was my mission to leave it better than I found it. To pour into men and women and young people the love of Jesus, to speak truth to power when necessary, and to honor God with all my heart, mind, and soul. Today I come to you and I ask you to help me to pay it forward at another level by electing me a bishop in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. In the last 2 years, I've learned how to celebrate my victories. I've learned how to celebrate my defeats. I will not stand here and promise you that I'll be a perfect bishop, but I commit to you that I'll be a prayerful bishop. The world is at the brink of war. The church is struggling and pushing to create for us a solvent future. We need men and women on the bench of bishops who will forge and lift up the vision of Bishop Richard Allen. The songwriter puts it like this: what shall I render? What shall I give unto God for all these blessings? God has everything, and everything belongs to God. Today I stand here as your brother, your nephew, your child, your pastor, asking you to help me to pay it forward. Elect Timothy Tyler. Nita's husband, Carolyn's baby boy, Bishop Few's project, a bishop, oh, Chanelo's daddy, a bishop in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Let's do this in the year 2024. Thank you, family.
Amen.
God bless you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. So with that, I pause to see if there is any recommendation, any endorsement from the, yes, sir, I hear Reverend.
Second that motion.
It's moved and properly second that the Philly Episcopal District goes on record endorsing the candidacy of a native son, Timothy Tyler. Any question? Those who would favor it, be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, ayes have it and so ordered. Thank you. Thank you so much.